had a call with a new client the other day, and he's been working with a therapist for the last few months. We had a really nice conversation, and he messaged me after saying, "Thank you for today. I actually got more out of our session than I did working with a therapist." And that's not to say that therapy is bad. I have nothing against it. In fact, therapy helped me through some of my darkest times. So I'd highly recommend people going to a therapist. But what I've found is I'm meeting a lot of people who are stuck in cycles, and they find themselves living through the same patterns and the same loops over and over again. And these people that I'm working with, they're very self-aware individuals. They've read a lot of books, they've done courses, they've tried things like meditation, journaling, visualization. Most of them have even had therapists and coaches in the past. And they've got to a point where they know exactly what it is they need to do, but for some reason, they're just not doing it. And as they have a level of awareness, it becomes even more frustrating because they say things like, "I want to do this and I know that I need to do this, but I don't understand why I'm not." And then that leads to overthinking. They start second guessing themselves. And that brings in an element of self doubt. And then that leads into more frustration, more anger. And then sometimes they start taking it out on people around them. And they know what is happening, they know why they're reacting. But for some reason, that same cycle, that same pattern keeps reoccurring in their life. And when I think about it in terms of change and the journey that I've been on, the life that we've had, the point of that we've got to, that is kind of our foundation. And what most people are trying to do, they're trying to build a house on top of a foundation that isn't stable. So what I did is I created the mirror method. And this is the process that I take all my clients through. And rather than trying to build a new house on top of the old foundations, we go to the old foundations, we figure out where it's not strong, where it's not solid, and where it's not secure. We find the root cause of what it is that's creating these patterns, loops, and cycles. And then we rebuild from the ground up. And this is really powerful because we go into two sides of how a human works. Because a lot of people think they have a mindset problem, or they have a productivity problem, or they have a motivation problem. But that's not the case. The problem is that the nervous system is wired for survival. And I'll talk about this more in a moment. And our subconscious mind is stuck in an old identity. So these are the two main components of the mirror method. And I like to think about it as a mirror that's fogged up. And when you're looking in a fogged up mirror, you can kind of see the outline of yourself. And most people can see the outline of themselves. They know the structure, they know what's going on, they can see the patterns or the cycles. But what we really need to do is remove the fog from the mirror and see the parts of you that are really holding you back. Start to identify where the problems are coming from. Get full awareness of that and then integrate it into our body, into our lifestyle. So let's start with the nervous system. So our nervous system is wired to keep us safe. Everything that happened to us in childhood created a pattern within us. And it's not against you. Your body is never against you. Your body is just going to do everything it can to keep you safe. And most people these days are wired for pressure, they're wired for stress, and they're wired for being in this state of panic. So as soon as you start removing this uncertainty, this pressure, this panic, it starts to feel uncomfortable for the nervous system. It's like a guard dog is protecting your land. And every time something unusual happens, the dog starts barking. So if you imagine your garden is a place of panic, pressure, and chaos, the dog is going to be acting normal. But as soon as someone comes to the gate and says, "Oh, here you go, here's some meditation so that you can be calm," the dog will start barking. It's like, "No, I don't want that. That's not familiar." And this is what we do with the nervous system. We're basically training the dog to feel calm again. We're training the dog to feel that they're in control. And by making this shift, they're calming your body to feel safe, to feel secure, and to feel in control, will then reflect in your outer world and how you show up. But retraining the nervous system doesn't work on its own, just like retraining the subconscious mind doesn't work on its own. A lot of people do this mindset work, shadow work. They're trying to change their identity, which is really a powerful thing to do. Most people are operating from the old version of themselves and they try to step into the new version, but their old identity keeps pulling them back. So what we do through the mirror method is we create this new identity, but we also have to understand the old identity so we know which parts we're letting go of. When we're acting out through our day-to-day tasks, the habits, the beliefs, the patterns, the behaviors, we become aware of what we're doing, which is linked to the old identity and the new identity. We start showing up as the new identity, the new version of ourselves. But at the same time, we need our nervous system to feel safe. So what we're doing is essentially linking the mind and the body. And most people will work on one or the other. If you go and do a course, you're usually working on your mind or you're working on your body. If you go and do a program, it's usually your mind or your body. And what we're doing here is we're integrating the two. So it's essentially a 3-step process. One, we're creating awareness of all the things that are holding you back, the things that create the chaos. Then we retrain the subconscious mind to create this new identity. So you're aware of the old patterns and the new. And then we recalibrate your nervous system so that your body feels safe to take the actions that you need to take to become that new version of you. And that's essentially the whole process. And if you found yourself in this situation where you know what you need to do, but you just can't do it, then this is exactly for you. My one-to-one program is currently closed right now, but what I've done is I open up every so often a couple of 20-minute conversations. There's a link in the description below. If there's spots available, then feel free to book one in and we'll have a chat. We'll see if we can help you identify what it is that's holding you back. And if we get on, if it feels aligned, then obviously we can put you on the waiting list for when my one-to-one next opens. But I just wanted to share this video because it's important for you to know that there's nothing wrong with you. I have found myself in this position before, and most of my clients have found themselves in it as well. It's not your fault that you have been wired in this way. You just haven't been taught how to retrain and how to rewire the nervous system and the subconscious patterns. But I'm here to help you do that. So if you want to jump on a call, click the link below or follow along, and I'll be sharing more videos about how I work with my clients, how we retrain the subconscious mind, how we recalibrate the nervous system so you can take action, so you can live a life of calm, clarity, and be in control again. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.